Happy Friday, everybody. While I'm recording this is Friday, and December 14th, I think it is. So, big topic today, one that a lot of us deal with, including moi, and that is negative self talk or blowing things out of proportion or not getting things in perspective the way they should be. So, let's talk about some of these items and how to solve it. Okay, it may be that for me it'll be while I'm driving and I will have this negative talk going on. It can be hitting me while I'm trying to fall asleep, and I usually fall asleep very quickly. However, when I'm stressed out or something, my mind is too active, or I'm hyped up on too much caffeine, this is just unsweetened iced tea, but it might be too much caffeine, like right before I go to bed, and the mind can't quiet down. And so be careful with your consumption of caffeine. That can make you agitated as well. So what do you do when you're driving down the road and all this negative self-talk, or you're applying for jobs in this field and you're not getting callbacks, that you're not getting support that you need, like all this negative stuff? And it can be stuff that's happening in the present or from the past, or you're thinking about the future, and it's negativity on top of negativity. How do you stop it? Well, I'll tell you that as I'm driving down the road and I'm thinking those things, and I'm even speaking out loud negative things like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and I have to stop myself. Like, what am I doing? I'm bringing myself further into that negativity trap without stopping it. So how do you stop it? Well, first of all, you've got to be aware that you're doing it. So if there's a time, like with me, it's before I fall asleep or in the car. When is it for you? And I've got to be able to catch myself doing it. And then I can make some choices in these nanoseconds that I have while I'm driving. And it's like, okay, no. There could be a great song on the radio, and it could be my favorite song, and then all of this negativity is going on here. So once you catch yourself in the act, it's got to be a deliberate, like, stop and start to think about positive, good things that are going on. Something good that you have in your life that you're grateful for, that you have to count your blessings for. You've got to change the focus. So the question that's really good to ask yourself is this helping me or hurting me right now? I talked about this yesterday, unforgiveness of somebody, which is a negative thing because it hurts you more than them. Is my silent treatment towards that person hurting me more or them? So you've got to dissect that in a nanosecond. Is this hurting me or helping me? Obviously, it's hurting you when it's negative talk swirling around in your head. So then it's like cutting it off at the pass, cutting off its legs, so to speak, so it can't continue to harm you. Okay, so catch yourself and then ask yourself, hurting or helping? Number 3, imagine the opposite. So it could be that somebody that I watch on YouTube was waiting for news, and it could potentially be bad news. And he had to wait. It was regarding his dog. And he just did this video a short time ago, and I saw it. And it could be that the dog was desperately ill, like fatally ill, or it's something else. And and he had to wait a half hour to find that out. Well, you know what happens, in that half hour. There's a lot of negativity in the head, and it's hard to break apart from that when your fur baby is staring at you. Or it could be bad news regarding a close, very dear family member. I've been in that situation, and the news wasn't good. So in the meantime, while we wait, we imagine the worst. But how do we snap out of it? We've got to imagine the opposite. Until I lost a family member, I got the bad news and I lost them, I was hoping against hope. I was hoping that there'd be better news. In my case, in that instance, for that person, there was no good news. For this gentleman with his fur baby, there was great news. So why do we imagine that it will be the worst? I didn't want to sit there imagining the worst for my wonderful family member. I wanted to imagine that there was an answer, because that kept me going every day. And so we have to snap out of this. And for me, it's saying, Lord, take this from me. He has nothing but wonderful things planned, but he's going to teach me along the way as well. And so it may not be the path that I have chosen initially, but he's taken me down a different path, and he knows what's best for me, and he knows I'll enjoy it. So it's, we have to explore in order to find out, but the wait can be hard, can be excruciating. So snap out of trying always to imagine the worst and assuming the worst that's going to happen. All right, so number 4, ask yourself and get yourself out of an emotional state by asking yourself, like, what's more likely to happen? What's a logical thing that would happen? I know I have to operate that way so that my emotions don't go, bleh. That's what I feel like inside. But on the outside, I'm operating in a very logical way. So what are some of the solutions? Well, one of the things is to pinpoint. For me, I know when this negative talk is happening. It's in the car, or it's when I'm going to sleep, primarily. A person may trigger it because they're acting out of line. You may be in the fast food line. I could be in the line at Chick-fil-A, and I had somebody cut in front of me right in the line. And I had choices to make then. I could go down the negative road, or I could just go, who cares? I'm not going to waste my time getting mad at that person who's, honestly, I think they got out. They thought we were all backlogged in the wraparound line around the building, and he didn't realize that was the line to place your order. He really did, because it was a big line and you can't see it when you're wrapped around. So I had to get over myself and not make assumptions that he was a jerk, and just focus on more important things than who cut in front of me, either in traffic or in the Chick-fil-A line. So write down those times, those triggers for you that start that negativity and that chaos. Is it a bad day at work? And then you get in the car and you start thinking about negative things. That's happened as well. But for me, a lot of the times it's in the car while I'm driving. Whether there's good music on or not, those negative thoughts can take over. I have to snap myself out of it. Then ask yourself a time when you assumed the best was going to happen, and why can't you do that going forward? Even if you're rejected, let's say that you've been turned down for jobs in this field, and nobody's hired you, then there's some things you have to change. There's something that has to be changed in order for that to change. And that's the figuring out what it is that has to change. It could be that your cover letter stinks. It could be that. It could be that there's some skills you need and you don't have them. So that's the discovery. Like, why are they rejecting me? That's where you learn. That's where you learn why they're not hiring you. You got to figure that out. So that is it for today. You got to snap yourself out of it. And what I do is I pray it away. I'll say, like this. But I had to make a concerted effort to be aware that it was even happening. I was so used to negative self-talk. All right, so hopefully this is helpful to you today. I hope so, because a lot of us suffer with this, and we don't have to. It's not that I go around, I'm not spewing positive graphic quotes all the time, but I'm certainly not going to spew negative ones to you all. What would that do? I mean, can you imagine if I started spewing negativity to you, and a lot of people do online? Um, that's not really uplifting, but I want whatever I say to you is a solution to a problem, and that it uplifts you, but it's a solution, a practical solution. But this one, for me, is a spiritual solution, because God doesn't make junk, and God has a purpose and a plan for you, whether you know that or not. He does. That won't change. So keep marching forward and keep testing the waters, keep exploring, keep up in your game, add to your skill sets, add to your knowledge, and you'll be rewarded for your efforts. But sitting back and just doing negative self-talk doesn't help you or anybody else. All right, so that is it. Have a great Friday night. And if you're not working this weekend, I hope you're not. Enjoy the weekend. Take some time for you. And I will see you on Monday. Okay, say hi if you can below. I'd love to hear from you. And what else? Oh, I want to remind you that class starts, Paralegal Inner Circle class begins, registration begins January 5th. The moment you sign up, you have access to the classes. And the free very private Facebook group that comes with that, and a lot of downloads. Now, you cannot download the videos, but you have access to those for a while. And you can download the PDF downloads within the class. So that's pretty cool. And what I am going to put up probably this weekend is a separate class for my paralegal veterans who just need help in doing their cover letter. I'm going to take the portion out of this mega class and put it in a separate little class. And you can take it just by itself. And I think that will be very helpful. So a lot of times it's that we're not really helping ourselves by the type of cover letter we send out. And I teach how to do a knock 'em dead one in this class. But that's included in the mega class, the Paralegal Inner Circle class. So also if you're new to this field, completely new, get the book, my book, Legal Break-In, on Amazon. There's a Legal Break-In book, and it's paperback or Kindle. And then there's a Legal Break-In weekly planner for 2019. It's a weekly calendar, but it also has alternating pages, lined pages, where you can write your notes and reminders and things, okay? So when you put Legal Break-In in the Amazon, join us in the class in January. Would love to have you. I'm sending, if you want to be on the wait list, go check out the description box. I think in yesterday's video, yes, you'll see it, okay? The link to the Paralegal Inner Circle class on my website. So have a great day, and I will see you on Monday. Take care. Bye.